Caro-Kann defense, advance, short variation with 4.nf3, e6 5.b2. Intense. That was a serious game. White really outplayed black in that one. The opening was balanced. White was a cut above black in the middle game. The players battled pretty evenly in the end game. Sharp games are frequently the result of starting with the king's pawn, since it dominates the center and frees up the bishop and queen on the light squares. In the Caro-Kann defense, the pawns on d7 and d5 can be quickly pushed to take control of the center and engage the e4 pawn. The d4 square seizes the center and launches an assault on the e5 and c5 squares. The pawn on e4 is under attack from the center, where d5. e5 closes the center and controls the important d6 and f6 squares. bf5 develops the bishop where it controls the important e4 square. Black can play e7 e6 next, without trapping the light squared bishop on c8. nf3 develops the knight and defends the d4 and e5 pawns. e6 defends the d5 pawn and f5 bishop, and allows the dark squared bishop to develop. b2 develops the bishop, protects the knight on f3 and prepares to castle. By doing this, a knight moves out of its beginning square and into the action. Castling gets the king to a safer square, out of the center of the board, while also developing a rook. Castling kingside tends to be safer because the king is further from the center. Games Master. It is the final book action. That's fine. It is good. Among the best actions. It is quite good. This overlooks an opportunity to develop a bishop off its starting square. It is an inaccuracy. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is ideal. By growing a bishop from its initial square, this activates it. It is ideal. This defends a piece that is being attacked but is not well defended. It is quite good. Very precise. It is best. This is not the right idea. It is an inaccuracy. This misses a much better move. It is a mistake. It falls flat. This is not the best. It is an inaccuracy. This is an equal trade. It is best. Backs off. It is ideal. This misses a chance to strengthen a pawn's defenses. It is incorrect. Now that the rooks can see one another, they can defend one another. It is quite good. This ignores a better way to unpin a pawn, allowing it to provide defense. It is an inaccuracy. The knight can now control more squares as a result. That's good. Although the score was nearly equal, white now has the upper hand. It is incorrect. This loses a chance to imply that winning a pawn is possible. It is incorrect. This causes material loss. It is a mistake. Recaptures. It is ideal. Backs off. It is ideal. Recaptures. It is ideal. Backs off. It is ideal. This defends the attacked pawn. It is excellent. As a result, the bishop may now control more squares because it is in a better position. This poses a knight-winning threat. That's good. This makes it impossible for the adversary to capture a knight. That's good. This offers to exchange pieces of equal value. It is best. It is a fair deal after all captures. It is quite good. Recaptures. It is ideal. This reveals an assault and puts a pawn in danger. It is ideal. This exposes a pawn attack. That's good. That is a logical response. It is quite good. A solid choice. It is excellent. This evades the check from the bishop. This is the only move that works. It is a great move. This shifts the bishop to a square with more activity, giving it greater scope. It is quite good. The rook is now in a safe position. That's good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. This reveals an attack that poses a threat to a rook. It's compelled. This is an equal trade. It is best. Recaptures. That is good. A very strong play. It is excellent. That's a decent move. That's good. That's fine. It is good. Perfectly on point. It is ideal. A pawn kicks the opposing knight, forcing it to move or risk being captured. It is quite good. This is the start of the endgame and white is winning. It is excellent. Among the best actions. It is quite good. Backs off. It is ideal. From a prior move, recaptures. It is quite good. This requires an open file, a typical technique for rook activation. It is quite good. While not a mistake, that is also not the wisest course of action. That's good. The best choice is this one. It is ideal. The checking bishop is moved away in this move. It is ideal. That is a logical response. It is quite good. The pawn is now in a safe position. That's good. This moves the bishop to a better location, allowing it to control more squares. It is excellent. That's a decent move. That's good. What I would have advised is that. It is ideal. The pawn is now on a square that is safer. It is ideal. A solid choice. It is excellent. A pawn that was being attacked and had no defenses is now protected by this. It is quite good. Very precise. It is best. A very strong play. It is excellent. That pawn was free for the taking. It is excellent. Intense. That was a serious game. White really outplayed black in that one. The opening was balanced. White was a cut above black in the middle game. The players battled pretty evenly in the end game.